Hey guys, welcome to my Land Rover Range Rover channel where I talk about Range Rover problems and solutions on the cheap, also testing like eBay parts and whatnot. But this video is about my overheating issue on the Range Rover, and I'm going to actually show you how you can get rid of your Range Rover air pocket simply by just adding water, but you need to wait 8 minutes to actually do that. So let me just quickly explain to you guys. I'm sure you've seen some of my videos where the Range Rover was overheating, okay? And I wasn't quite sure how these things work because this vehicle's very finicky and you have to do things just right. So if you never owned a Range Rover before, you might think you could just simply open up a radiator cap while it's running, or any other pressure relief valve. You just simply can't do that. And here's why. So if the vehicle is running um, and it has basically like heated up, there's proper pressure inside. Um, like I'm talking about when the vehicle has warmed up, like you don't have no issues whatsoever. You could actually create a problem by opening up your radiator cap or opening up that pressure relief valve, because when you do that, believe it or not, somehow, even though it looks like steam is escaping, actually you're letting air in and it creates an air pocket. Maybe there's a better scientific way of explaining to you guys, but I have added 1.5 gallons of water or close to that, as you will see in the next video clips. One thing I will tell you guys, here's how you do this on the cheap. If your Range Rover just starts to overheat, okay, go ahead and park it. Turn off the engine, set a timer for 8 minutes. Once the timer has expired, make sure you get the water ready, as I will actually explain to you guys after I've done this little voiceover, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do. So as you can see, I got this Range Rover. It did cool down. When 8 minutes passes, it will automatically start sucking the water into the engine where it needs to go. So you need to have the water ready so you could add more as needed. Do not overfill it, only add it to the cold level. And once you finish filling it up, do not fill it up all the way. You need that extra space. Once you actually filled it up, go ahead and close the radiator cap. Make sure it's a brand new radiator cap. Don't take any chances, especially if you don't know if it's a new one or not. So once you're done adding the water and you did tighten your lid, make sure then to start up your vehicle and then monitor the Range Rover for it overheating or not. Usually it's not going to be the head gasket type of issue. But in my case, because of the overheating type of thing, I bought it with this issue. It did have some minor holes in the side of the radiator. I did fix them with radiator stop leak. It is a temporary fix, so I could make these videos and show you how long this fix actually lasts. But this is not a permanent solution. However, with this solution, I have already driven, after this video has done, I have driven now 7,000 miles, and I have not replaced the radiator. But in this particular video, I have driven almost 600 miles, and then I started having these problems again. But I literally created this problem, as I will explain in other videos how I actually created it. And I will actually recreate the same problem again to then show you that after I fixed it and it stopped overheating, I will actually make it overheat again. And then I will show you how to fix it again in the next video. But in this video, you could see what I've done just before I made it home safely, because I was on the way home, it started overheating, and this is everything that I did to cause it to stop overheating, including gluing the radiator. And it did work. Okay guys, here's what I want to tell you. I let the engine, since last time it was running and everything, I let the engine cool down, right? And I basically opened up this lid right here, and I started adding some water, and I noticed, like, as soon as I opened it up, the water level was actually right about here. Water level started like dropping down, so it's starting to get over here. I would hit my water here, so I started pouring down a little bit more, and as you can see, it has taken most of that water. So what I'll do is I'm gonna add some more. Yeah, look, it just keeps taking it. So I gotta quickly grab another gallon. So I have to act kind of quickly. And what I've done is I went ahead and grabbed another gallon. So now we have poured this much in there. So what I could tell you so far is I've used up a whole gallon of water, right? And then some. So last time the situation was very similar. I had 2 gallons of water. This time I have 4, just in case. And it was overheating, then not overheating, then overheating, then not overheating. Actually, I said it only correctly. Not overheating, and then not overheating. What I meant to say is, it was overheating, I would, shut the engine down, add some more water to it. And look, it has taken most of the water too. Like, look at the level. So let me pour some more. So I think what's happening right now is things are finally starting to work like as they should. The water's being sucked where it needs to be, and it has finally taken a gallon and a half. I think some of that went inside of the engine, so technically things are starting to begin to act normally. So I'm being a little bit hopeful. Okay, I did not have much luck the last 3 tries, but I'm being hopeful into thinking that maybe this time I could drive a little bit longer. So I'm still gonna let things cool down a little bit. And I think this water level is beginning to drop a little bit more. We do not want to really add too much water because we do want to have some space in there. And I did not actually lose much water on the outside. I did pop the lid open a little bit, and maybe I've lost this much over the top of the full tank, like maybe like this much of water from the top. So that's like not much water at all that leaked out. So now that the engine is cooling down, this is kind of like what's happening. Now, normally I think it would be time for me to start driving, but I'm gonna risk it again. I'm gonna shut the video down, and I'm going to see if it's gonna start overheating. I'm just gonna add just a little bit more water. And I think that's gotta do it for now. I mean, maybe I should just start driving, because really I gotta start driving and maybe do this again in another parking lot. But I'm hopeful that it will actually allow me to drive a little bit more this time. So what I was gonna do when I brought the water out before I started adding it, I was gonna try to add some in here, right, to kind of top off the system. And now when it did that in a parking lot at Walmart, this is where I used majority of the water, and then some of that overflowed into here, right? That's kind of like why a lot of it got used up, like 3/4 of the water bottle got used up in there. And then it overflowed back into the bottle, causing the bottle to overflow, and things was not circulating. Obviously we have like an air pocket in the system. Now what I'm thinking would have happened if I would have opened this up again, sort of like I'm adding air bubble into the system, then I still have to kind of get the air bubble out, release some of this pressure, and this is one of the ways that it's going to get rid of that air out of the system. So I'm not going to put this thing too tight, just kind of like tight enough to where if it needs to lose some, it will. But at this point, what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to start driving, and I'll inform you what's going to happen, and I'm going to time it again. So guys, I do have good news, and the vehicle has been running for 10 minutes, and the arrow did not even move from the center line. It's staying slightly below center, which is good, which is telling me that the problem was with the air pocket being in the system. And I will go over how to get rid of the air pocket once again in case this is confusing, but I did record this very long video so you guys could see everything that I did. And maybe you could shorten this up a little bit to make it short and sweet for yourself, but I try every little thing that basically does not cost a lot of money to basically get rid of the air pocket. And currently it's been over 10 minutes. I'm able to get home just fine. I'm gonna get home, open things up, and I'm gonna see while the engine is running, if there's any kind of leaks, I'm gonna observe these kind of things. So anyways, guys, I have a lot of good news so far. So at this point, I have drove 12 minutes because I did time myself, and I'm very close to being home. As you can see, the temperature gauge is slightly below center, which means the engine is not overheating, which also means that this is not a head gasket issue. This is just the air pocket issue in your Range Rover. So a lot of the times when you mess with your system and you try to replace something like a thermostat, you could let an air pocket in, and then you're gonna be in the world of trouble because it's gonna start overheating for no reason. And you thought you just got a normal service type of done. So to some untrained eye or a mechanic that does not really know or understand these new vehicles, that the pressure needs to be proper inside of the cooling system. With the proper pressure, the water is going to, or radiator fluid is going to properly circulate inside of your engine, keeping it cool. But as soon as there's an air pocket, it will not circulate. And an air pocket can occur if you got like a hole in your radiator, that will cause an air pocket. If you just replace your thermostat, you're gonna create an air pocket like that. And I was really careful. So yesterday I replaced a thermostat, and when I replaced it, I actually added water to the engine directly. I've done that today as well, but none of these things really mattered, to be honest, because the air pocket still occurred and it was still overheating, and the radiator itself started leaking. So I'm gonna pop the hood and show you what's going on underneath the hood. So anyways, as you can see, there's no leaks here on this side. It's completely dry. Looking at the overflow tank, it's got water up to here. Nothing has moved. I made this a little bit light. So the reason I made it light, if anything needed to escape through here, like any kind of air, so to get rid of the air pocket, it could actually do it coming through here. And I'm gonna attempt to do that once again, like that. See how it's just water coming out now? That's a good thing. So in the next clip, I'm just gonna record a video explaining to you guys the whole process, but that's gonna be, I'm gonna make another separate video of that as well, but I'm gonna explain it in this video as well. Kind of like everything that I've done in a shortened type of version, what happens and how you should basically get the air out of the system.